What's up, sad boys? How are we doing? Welcome to my channel. This is a little different, though you may not be able to tell. I mean, this is new. When it comes to great, legendary emo record labels, you have your Fearless, you have your Victory, you have Pure Noise, I don't care. But one of the absolute top of the tops, with not the most bands, but with pure sheer quality of bands, comes Fueled by Ramen, a record label that just proceeds to just squeeze every ounce of creativity from their bands. But I thought it would be beneficial to go back before all the creativity was squeezed out, to go back to the beginning and find out which Fueled by Ramen debut was the best. And I have chosen what I believe are the three best contenders for the playlist. 2003's Take This to Your Grave by Fall Out Boy. I mean, I've talked about all their other albums. I might as well talk about the original, the first one, the pop punk one, the emo one. Take This to Your Grave will be going against the debut album from Paramore, All We Know Is Falling, just like the soundproof foam that I attempted to attach to the ceiling. It may fall at any time upon me. And these two albums will be going against a wild card, an album that I had only heard praise of, but I have never taken the time to listen to myself because I didn't bother. The Academy is Almost Here, a band that I have never listened to, starring William Beckett, I believe is the lead singer's name. I've heard of them. They are legends within the scene. If I am to be the emo connoisseur, if I am to be the voice of the Warped Tour scene that lives within all of us, then I must give an emphatic and enthusiastic chance to the Academy is with their debut album, Almost Here. Which album will be the most represented album on our playlist when we go song, verse song, verse song. Starting with track number 1, Tell That Mick He Just Made My List of Things to Do Today. Was this my favorite Fall Out Boy album? I think for everyone, it was their favorite Fall Out Boy album at some point. But I must admit that I have grown with my taste, and it's difficult to admit, but the band has too. Fully Outdo may be their best album, though Infinity on High may be my favorite album. I don't know, maybe you'll have to watch my zombie song of those two to find out. When it comes to Take This to Your Grave, we start out with a song that gives you an idea of exactly what this band is. They're a pop punk band. They're making quick, singable songs akin to Saves the Day, the first brand new album, but they're doing it with a little more cheekiness, a little more winking to the camera, and the vulnerability that is brought by Patrick Sum's vocals just really elevate it and makes it its own feeling, its own little unique feeling. This song does a really good job of setting up the attitude of the band. They are sweet, innocent, insecure, but they also don't give a fuck about you. I wouldn't piss to put you out. So stop burning bridges and drive off them so I can forget about you. I don't want to think of you anymore. So can you just drive off a fucking bridge? His smiles, your rope, wrap it tightly around your throat. It seems to be talking about a girl that he's witnessing in a relationship with a person that he doesn't think she should be with, and that she should probably just die instead. Is that a good message? The production of these albums are wonderful, and I really think that that's something that propped up these bands. That's something that made Fueled by Ramen a label to listen to, because they found these high schooler bands. They found Hayley Williams at 15 years old and gave her a debut record that is much better sounding than anything any 50-year, and gave them a record that sounds much better than anything any high school band deserves. Your first high school record should be recorded on a MacBook in the music room after school and uploaded to MySpace for free. But All We Know Is Fallen has a good reputation for all I know, and all we know is the first song on the album. We tried to understand, but we can't. We held the world out in our hands, and you ran away. It takes some time to let you go. It shows, because all we know is falling. It's hard to let people go. Hayley Williams sounds so mature, beyond her years, not just in subject matter, not just in how she presents her emotions. You never said this is what you wanted. And that vulnerability, paired with her very confident performance that is aged well beyond her years. I like how it just goes straight into it. There's no bullshit. We're not dancing around. This is a Paramore song, and it is a good staple, a good opener. Okay, it's a little more mature sounding in the music than Fall Out Boy or Paramore was. It feels like it's drawing on a little more contemporary, alternative adult music for that emo younger crowd, which is probably why I never got into this band, because this sound is a little soft. But is Fall Out Boy or Paramore any harder? There just seems to be, to me anyway, a little more of an aggressive feeling in the instrumentals themselves, though the instrumental composition is a little more basic on those two first songs, where this had a little more interesting going on. It had kind of a dance beat, but it still maintained that emo feeling. His voice is interesting. It's vulnerable, but it also bridges that gap into the confident performance that Hayley Williams has. I would say it is a good mismatch of those two performers. But the song itself, the song itself had a lot of good parts that did stand out to me, but I don't think the hook was any stronger than All We Know Is Falling, which is a little bit of a downer, or the very enthusiastic and energetic Tell That Mick. So I think for this first one, to start our playlist off right, to kick this Fueled by Ramen album off, Tell That Mick is just the best overall opener. And that is why it deserves the first place onto our playlist. There we go. Number 1, second song, hit it. This is why Fall Out Boy is such a good show band, especially in this era. You go see them at a show, you play the songs you know, you sing along to them, very similar to New Found Glory, where it's like the songs are just fun to sing. They're fun to be in a crowd, they're fun to be around your bros, they're fun to yell out at the top of your lungs. And in that sense, I think Dead on Arrival is one of the best cases of it. You have the cheesy, sentimental chorus. This is side 1, Flip Me Over. I know I'm not your favorite record. The artists you like never stick at first, so I'm writing you a chorus. Here's your verse. Any poetic, emotional song about being the songwriter, about presenting the music to you to hear in your heart. Oh, Patrick, you get me, you know me, I'm a little scene girl in my room, and you are speaking directly to me. And I like the play in the lyrics themselves from verse 1 to verse 2. I hope this is the last time, because I never say no to you. No, it's not the last time, because I never say no to you. It's acknowledging the cyclical nature of their relationship and how he feels dead on arrival, while also his opportunity to escape this relationship is also dead on arrival. We're playing with themes though I do find the chorus incredibly dorky. That works to their advantage sometimes, but maybe there will be a better offering from one of our other bands. This has been the first one to really take me back, to put me back in that early high school and middle school age where I was feeling the pressure, the peer pressure to be cool, to be punk, and Paramore was not cool nor punk. And in comparison to the Fall Out Boy record, it sounds a little more downbeat. It sounds a little more self-serious. The musical qualities is a little minor in tone. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It does inject a little sense of maturity into the music, but it also does feel kind of down. It sort of does feel downbeat. When I was talking about the fun, bouncy, sing-along nature of Fall Out Boy, it's not really present here. But Pressure is just such a good emotional song with a backing track that pounds straight through your chest. I think Haley sounds mature. The writing on this song is really good. This is definitely a song that grabs your attention, and when you realize how young they were when they wrote it, you're like, so show me something we haven't heard yet. I really like the guitar work here. I really like what the Academy is playing with in the instrumentals. I like the acoustic guitar. I like how the backing track sounds. Honestly, the only thing that is pulling me out of this band is the performance of the singer. William Beckett seems to have almost an idiosyncratic way of singing. It's just slightly not the typical way you would sing it or hit the line, and it's sort of off beat, so it just kind of disconnects, and his voice doesn't really have the confidence or the bravado to pull in a performance like that for me. And the lyrics seem to be another song about sticking. These songs won't stick, but I'll sing you something you won't forget. Very similar to Dead on Arrival. I like writing about being a writer because that's what I'm doing right now, and I guess I sing songs, so I hope these songs work because I'm singing songs and I'm writing them for you. Not to say that writing or commenting on the artistic process is a bad thing. It's just kind of silly that they have to work that into the song. Like, let me sing you a song. Let this be your song. We are fucking singing here. We're a band. Pressure is just like such a classic, all-time banger of an emo song, a staple of the Warped Tour scene that I feel like I would be remiss, that I would be doing a disservice to Fueled by Ramen and the experience that I'm attempting to pull here if I don't put pressure on, if I do not feel pressured to add them. Talk about classics. Where is your boy tonight? Grand Theft Autumn. Like you're still in autumn? Like you're still in a season. Why was the music video shot in the snow? What does that have to do with autumn? Is the boy still filming outside the window? When I wake up, I'm willing to take my chances on the hope I forget that you hate him more than you notice. I wrote this for you. So another line about writing the song for the person, and I hope, hey person, are you listening to my record? Feels a little weird in hindsight. I don't know if I would ever write a song to a person. I've written songs about people. I've written songs calling people out. But I don't know if I'd be like, hey, you, I wrote this for you. Do you hear it? Person, do you hear it? Because if they don't, I feel like an asshole. I feel like a jackass. I could be an accident, but I'm still trying, and that's more than I could say for him. Do they have sets? Is he the boy? Is he saying, like, I hope I'm a gentleman? Or is he at, like, the door of girl's boyfriend, and he's like, hey, is he out there dating the girl that I had sex with? Because that would be upsetting. It's fun to sing along to, but I'm not really sure what I'm saying. The performances are really good, though. I love the guitar work. Patrick's voice is fucking proud and loud. Pete Wentz even comes in for a 1, 2, 3, 4 in his least egregious cameo. So I praise the emo-ness. I always praise the emo-ness, but sometimes you can get a little sappy, especially in a way where I question Hayley Williams. How much love have you seen die? How much love have you seen at high school? If this song is about like her parents and they divorce and she's saying, I've seen love die, I've seen a relationship fall apart with my own eyes, I can understand that. It's really not your fault and no one cares to talk about it. Like there's this thing we're not talking about in the family that's tearing us apart. But if she is talking about actual relationships amongst like her friends, herself, how many people are falling in love in high school? How many people believe in love? What is love? How do we find it? Where is it? What does it look like? Is there a love note that I could play? I don't know. Is this an emergency? Is this an emergency situation? Is the gravity really there? Are the stakes big enough for you, Hayley? I like the chorus. I like the guitar work. I've seen love die. It's so powerful, but so incredibly cheesy. I've always been very iffy on that blah, blah, just splotching of the bass, which I guess is supposed to sound like an alarm? Maybe like an emergency, like a siren, like blah, blah, blah. There's just like an off quality about how he sings that like ruins the flow for me. Like I feel like if I never heard this band and I saw them live, I may not like them. They're just a little too sleepy for me. But this song, I will say, is working the best out of the 3 that I have heard, though it is funny how many songs I've heard in my life, especially from this era, about being in a movie. There's the Census Fell song, I'm just a bad actor with a shitty script. There's the Emery song, I'm the guy that dies in the beginning of the movie. There's a bunch of songs alluding to I'm an actor with a shitty script. I'm in a bad movie. This isn't a fairy tale. This isn't Hollywood. Hey, who are you kidding? I'm not like them. I won't buy in. Is this dude ugly? Let's see. Not ugly. Kinda looks like every fucking Disney star. Oh, I'm not like a Hollywood boy. I'm not like a fucking actor. That's not me, guys. But I will say the chorus here is really, really working for me. The take back, the way they hit that injects a little bit of energy. I like the build up to it. I like when we get to the second verse and we say, all right, slow down, and there's a little bass slide. The instrumentals are working for me. Even though I find the lyrics slightly cheesy, I do think that slow down is better than emergency. Whew, controversial pick. I think I like Slow Down better than Grand Theft Autumn. I don't know if I would be returning to the song, but I can see myself enjoying it if it were to come on. Just like that, we have one of each. What will happen next? I cannot tell you unless I listen to it, which I'm doing right now. Oh, Saturday, when these open doors were open-ended. I love everything about this verse personally. Pete and I attacked the lost Astoria with promise and precision and mess of youthful innocence. I read about the afterlife, but I never really lived more than an hour. always appreciate lyrics where it's like, it's a setup of something you know, and then they either twist a word or they flip it around and make it like sort of ironic, and it actually makes sense. Not all the time, but here it makes sense and it works within the song. It's 2 more weeks. My foot is in the door. I can't sleep. I just want to fucking leave. It's Saturday. I have the day that we're gonna leave. I can't sleep. I have this like emotion, these butterflies, this anticipation for this life that I could have. These open doors are open-ended. Is it talking about just like Saturdays in general? Like, Saturdays are open doors, baby. We don't have school. How young are they at this point? Saturday, though, feels like a precursor to Sugar We're Going Down, in the sense that it's just simple, easily digestible, it's energetic, it's pop punk, but somehow it's just slightly better than the average cut. I don't understand why they're so heavy on this album, why the guitaring has to feel like a breakdown, but then they try to pick it back up in the chorus. I remember them doing a little bit of this on Riot, where it's just open D. You have a lot of open D playing, and it sounds very aggressive and deep and thick and full, but I'm not sure if it works for this poppy album. I feel like the mix should be a little brighter. It's almost like they're missing horns or something to just put it over the top. They have a deep backing track with a lead guitar that does some sort of little beep 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 beep, and that's kind of how they construct their songs, and it's fine. It just makes them feel very down. Though I will say this chorus brings it up. This chorus does provide a lot of energy, and it is one of the better ones that I have heard on this album so far. I don't remember, does Hayley Williams write the songs on this album? Maybe Josh was the actual songwriter and then she just performed them? Could be wrong there. These songs could be from Hayley's heart herself. There's a maturity to the performance, to the song, to the lyrics, to every single aspect of it that does seem to be working really well for me. This song seems to be a breakup song. Now, I think we're taking this too far. Don't you know it's not this hard? But if you take what's yours and I'll take mine, must we go there? Please not this time. Is it a conversation back and forth? I think we're taking this too far. It's a fight that they weren't expecting to be a breakup fight, a relationship ending fight. This is how it goes. Well, I would have never known, and if it ends today, well, I still say, you shine brighter than everyone. You shine bright, kid. Even though you broke my heart and we're not in a relationship, I still think you're a pretty swell fella. It's a song that any high schooler, any young person could relate to. Does the emotion hold true? In a way, yes, but that's mostly because of her performance. I just find it odd, once again, that the backing track is so heavy, that the backing track is this open D, drop D sound. It just feels almost it just feels almost incongruent with the image of the band, with who they are as people. And it makes sense that they would eventually turn into that with their latter albums. With their albums, they seem to more embrace that fun aspect and push away from this kind of dour, heavier sound that was just prevalent at the time. This one brought the performance that I've been wanting from William. This one had a little more sassiness, a little more rawness. He got a little more in his throat. I would like to get a little more in his throat, if you ask me. I think this one has the best kind of beat and tone that the Academy has been going for. But I do want to say, and this may be unfair, and please tell me if it is unfair, if I'm being a little cheeky, the Academy feels like a less tight, a less refined Mayday Parade. They have a similar dancey, emotional vibe, a little bitchiness, a little scathing. There just isn't that commitment on the behalf of the singer. Now, I know some people may say that William Beckett's performance is perfect, that this perfectly illustrates everything you want in a singer, but there is a barrier for me that has been present in the previous songs. This one just happens to break that barrier. I like the interactive storytelling that we're getting from it. Doctor, I've gotten sick somehow. I'm going to ask you a series of questions and I want you to answer them on the spot right now. Is it serious? Well, I'm afraid it is. Am I gonna die? Well, son,
death is gonna catch up to all of us one day, but yours is coming quicker than ours.
doctor, that is not how to break the news to me. Hey, doc, do I have cancer? Is it bad? Well, I mean, in a way, life is a cancer that's gonna take us all. It just happens that your cancer is very real. I really like the instrumentals right after Hold Your Head Up High, Heavy Heart, and it just slams into that like dance beat before going into the chorus. This one's really working for me, but it's also up against Saturday. And if we all remember my headcanon, whatever songs I don't pick are erased from history. They don't exist. So if I pick Saturday as the one true song to be on the playlist, then that means that Brighter is now erased from history. That means that the phrase that pays is erased from history. Am I okay erasing Saturday if it means that the one Academy Hit song that I was enjoying, shouldn't this deserve a spot on the playlist? Decisions! Since I've done so many Fall Out Boy playlists, and there is just so much good Fall Out Boy in the world, and I'm not sure how much good the Academy there is in the world, then I guess perchance I will take the hit. I will make the controversial decision, and perhaps by doing this, then the Academy fans will not be angry at me. If they get angry, I don't know. I'm on the defensive here. I will choose this song over Saturday. I don't know if I'm gonna feel good about this decision after the fact, but I'm sticking with it for now. Tonight, these headphones will deliver you the words that I can't say when you're a million miles away. We used to send letters in this country. We would send letters to our sweetheart. They would travel in the mail. You would write your heart and soul onto a piece of paper with a feather dipped in ink, and you would fold it up, place it into a tiny little envelope, lick that bastard up, and put it into the hands of the trusty United States Postal Service, and hope that within a week or a month or several years, I don't know how speedy it was back then, you would then hope that that letter would arrive to your sweetheart unannounced in the mail. And they open it and they get your handwriting. They see where you quiver with your quivel, when your tear hits the page, when you got that paper cut and bled onto the corner. The story is all there on the page, but now kids these days, they just put in their headphones and they listen to an emotional song and they go, yes, this is who I am. This is what I feel. These are my emotions. I am not my own person. But if the song that they are listening to is Homesick at Space Camp, then I say they're making a pretty good choice. Fall Out Boy, even at this stage in their careers, are going through great lengths to provide songs and sounds that are vastly different than the last one. There's just a little extra layer in the instrumentals and the performance and how it's sung, in the way the emotion is presented, to make each song feel unique and distinct. Though I do have to say it's slightly confusing when the first line of this song has the word Chicago in it, and there's another song called Chicago Is So 2 Years Ago. But sometimes my brain gets a little fucking cross. It's confusing, guys. The song does something interesting. It drops down out of this relationship, this problematic whatever, this fuck you, bitch, whatever they're trying to say. It drops out, brings in an acoustic guitar, gives it a clean, clear feeling, and we get this group chant. These friends, new friends are golden. When you're in high school, that's all you need is the boys. I'm sad, I'm broken, I'm listening to songs that make me feel sad and broken, but when I have new friends, when I'm singing with the boys, we can fix this world, and these headphones will deliver you the words that I can't say. This one has a slightly opposite feeling than most of the other Paramore songs, where it starts out bouncy, it starts out a little uplifting, and then we bring it down and get a little angry for the chorus. Alright, just to let you know that I'm alright. Can't say I'm sad to see you go. Is the echoing saying I'm actually not alright? Or is it just saying no, I'm not? I'm not sad to see you go. Maybe she's trying to make herself feel stronger, make herself feel a little better. Here we go again with all the things we said. Maybe it's tying into the last song when she wasn't really prepared or sure that it was a breakup moment, that it was a breakup. It is funny to me that out of these 3 albums, Hayley Williams is the singer, the front person with the most bass in her voice. She has the deeper voice out of William and Patrick, and she utilizes that range very well in this record. She does become a better performer in their later albums, but I feel like the rawness, like the clean-cut clearness of just guitar, bass, drums, Hayley really adds an element to this album that Riot misses with me. Riot feels very overproduced, especially compared to something like this that is just a straight up punk rock album. Not really punk rock, but it's a straight up pop punk album, and there's nothing really more to it. But it's all competently done, and it's done with genuine, honest emotion that I appreciate from Hayley. I really like the verses, I like that bouncing guitar work, but the chorus does sort of kill it for me. Okay, the Academy is maybe growing on me just a little bit. I must apologize to William Beckett himself. Thank you for watching, sir. I must apologize for saying I didn't like the way he's saying, because he's so sick of this fucking apartment. Love me or leave me or rip me apart. This is the voice I was given, and if you don't like it, take a long walk off the shortest pier you can find, and I'll be singing out. I'll be singing. And to that I say, fucking respect. I love making music. It is the only thing in my life that has ever made sense. It's the only thing in my life that has ever given me an outlet for the emotions that I felt and couldn't comprehend for whatever reason. But I've never felt like I've had a good voice. So to me, I never judge other people's voices, only how they utilize it. I personally am under the impression or the philosophy that there is no one who can't sing. If you want to sing out, then sing it. If you want to be free, then be fucking free. Because your voice is the only one you have, and if you take command of it, if you take control of it, then you can find a way to work it, to mold it. It's a skill, it's a tool. You must work it out like a muscle. And I respect anyone who puts themselves out there, who puts themselves as a singer. That doesn't mean that they're free of critique. That doesn't mean I'm free of critique. If you don't like my voice, that's perfectly understandable. But that does not mean that I will stop singing. And regardless of my feelings on the Academy is, or the songs that they are presenting, how he is performing them, I would never say erase this album. So in that sense, I think the Academy is is a cut above the rest in self-reflection and being a little introspective. Though I still think it's funny with lines like, "Oh, Mr. Magazine never wrote one single thing for you, your so-called music scene. You don't mean a thing to me." I don't know if them being Mr. Magazine is really the point you want to hit on. It's aesthetic. It's kind of weird to be like, "Hey, if you don't like my voice, then fuck you, go jump off a pier. I'm gonna keep singing." But also, you see those handsome bands over there? Fuck them. I hate those pretty boys. My punk ethics, my punk sentiments says, good for you. Be your own person. Pick it up. It's what you need. But another part also says you're lacking a little self-awareness about the image of your band. Like, you're not this dirty, grungy punk rock band. But I think the sentiment is there, and I think he is genuine in the performance. Tricky. I think since last time I favored the Academy Is song over the Fall Out Boy song, Homesick at Space Camp is gonna make it onto our playlist. I'm not sure, like, why girls have to die. Why do boys think girls need to die? Postcards from a plane crash, wish you were here, implying I wish you were in a plane crash. So make my bed the grave and shovel dirt onto my sheets. Well, he's dying in this scenario, I guess. I have seen sinking ships go down with more grace than you. Turn this up, I'll tune you out. Another night alone in the city. Yeah, fake it like you matter. That's a lie that we both can keep. Oh. The contradiction of Fall Out Boy is on full display even in their earlier work, where it's like, we're insecure, we're kind of dorks, and like, we get our heart broken, but fucking bury me, bitch. I do really like how he says, I will sever the ties. He just hits it in such a way, I will sever the ties with you. Not my favorite on this album. I feel like there's a really good natural progression through these songs. Like, there is themings that is rolling into each of the next track. We have a relationship, there's pressure, we have an emergency, it's falling apart. I didn't know we were gonna break up. Here we go again, and now she is dealing with the ramifications. I will never let this go. I thought I was better than this. I thought I could handle, I thought I could be okay. But I cannot let this go, so please don't get me wrong, because I will never let this go. I cannot find the words to tell you I don't want to be alone. Girl, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be just fine. You're Haley Williams. There are a million guys that would gladly jump on a fucking katana for you. They're little tiny scene queen. This is one of the few songs on this album that I feel has built on each of its parts and maintained the energy throughout. Usually their songs either kill it in the verse or kind of nerf it in the chorus, but here I find everything building into itself and folding in a way that works well overall. This sounds like a song that could very much be on one of their later albums. It's starting the back half of this album off on a really good note. This album is getting good, better. God damn, I am liking each one of these Academy songs more and more, and I can understand why this album as a whole grabs people. Like, the songs individually aren't that great or anything revolutionary, but when you listen to it in succession, it really feels like it's just getting better and better as you're going through. I'm getting excited to hear what the next song even is. Would you believe me if I said I didn't need you? Because I wouldn't believe you if you said the same to me. I like how it dropped for the Don't Be So Scared, It's Harder For Me. This is a little cheeky song. It's kind of pointing the finger at her while also keeping the finger pointed at himself. When I'm gone, you'll be going nowhere fast. Don't be so scared. We will not let you on like you've been doing for weeks. And now I have a tough decision to make, because this Paramore song has been one of the better ones I've come across, but this Academia song may be the best one I've heard so far. And fuck it, it's on the playlist. This, low-key, may be my absolute favorite off of this album. It has my favorite chorus, it has the best opening to the song, it has the absolute best bridge. With every breath, I wish your body would be broken again. This is one of the better fuck you songs, and every little pat on the shoulder for attention fails to mention, I still hate you. But there's a light on in Chicago, and I know I should be home. All the color of the street signs remind me of the pickup truck out in front of your neighbor's house. Someone that you fucking hate, someone that you're fucking over, and then something else over here reminds you of them. They may get a little intense, a little over dramatic with loaded words and loaded friends or loaded guns to our head. You're not actually pointing guns at your friends, guys. I don't know how Chicago does it, but here in the Northwest, that's a little much for me. The music drops down and that bass is just chugging along. You want apologies. Girl, you might hold your breath until your breathing stops forever. The only thing that you'll get is this curse on your lips. I hope the taste of me forever. The curse of being able to taste me, to remind yourself of me. If I'm being reminded of you, then that must mean you're also being reminded of me too. And I hope that fucking tears you apart. Everything I want out of Fall Out Boy. I want it to be sceney, I want it to be bitchy, and I want it to be energetic with an emotional part that just makes your heart swell and burst. It's gonna be a tough one to beat. Whoa, everybody is singing, whoa, we're doing fine. She seems to be doing fine, guys. Don't worry, I know she said she'll never get over this, she'll never forget this, but we're doing fine. I can't do this to myself. She's showing a lot of maturity in these lyrics, if she is the one that wrote it, but she's performing it in a way that feels like she understands the emotion that the lyrics are supposed to represent. They're not really switching it up anymore. They are kind of blending together, and the production of it feels the most mundane out of the other ones. I tuned this song out so fucking quickly. I don't really even know what it is or what it's about. I just know that everyone's singing, whoa, would have been a good time for a gain vocals, for chant vocals. Haley pulls it through herself. I'm always confused on debut albums, and I know there was probably a demo or an EP or some bullshit before this, but I always find it weird on debut studio albums when there's a song or there's lyrics about haters or about people judging you, telling you you got a crooked smile or a weird voice. With every single move that I make is documented and scored for style points. Are you a celebrity? Did you have that big of a following? Why are you talking about yourself? It's hard to be insecure and talk about your image constantly at the same time. I don't know what this genre is. Rock? Alternative? Adult contemporary? It just feels so boring on a musical level with songs like this. Now, the caveat is I have praise for their creativity, but I just don't understand what their genre is altogether. There's not enough bite in the instrumentals for it to be pop punk, but it's not alternative enough to be like radio stuff. It's just kind of there. in the background, and that's fine. This song showed a lot of promise. There was a lot of interesting metaphors going on about how his life reads like the classifieds, and then he proceeds to kind of outline what that looks like. Attention bidders, it's a lot 45. He's got a decent voice, which that's not really how classifieds sound. This sounds more like an auction to me, and a crooked smile. Hold on, you haven't heard the best yet. He writes good storylines. He's got those honest eyes, so take him home for just $9.95. Is he saying he's cheap? Is he saying he sold himself for cheap? This chorus does kill it for me. It was like, it's not what it needs to be to commit to the theming that they started the song as. Think I have to go with my favorite, and I know I put my biases up first and foremost, but those biases are there for a reason, because this is the best song on Take This to Your Grave, and it is the best song out of these three, obviously. I hate myself, and I want to hate you just half as much. You know that I could crush you with my voice. I'm insecure, but I could fucking crush you with my voice. Bury me standing under your window with the cinder block in hand, because no one will ever feel like this again. If I could move, I'm sure it would only be to crawl back to you. I must have dragged my guts. They were gone by the time what? He was gonna throw a cinder block through the window, but he was too scared to. He was too lazy. Stood on my roof to try and see you, forgetting about me, hide the details. I don't want to know a thing. It's hard for me to sympathize with you when you're describing voyeurism, trying to peek through someone's window so you can get a view of them. This one is petty, but not really in a fun way. I enjoy the chorus. I like how he hits the whoa. It's a lot different than how Haley was hitting the woes, and it sticks out in a way that makes an impact. But overall, I feel like this song isn't really saying anything that hasn't been covered. Oh man, Paramore is trying to put me to sleep. I know they're being emotional. I know this is like a powerful song, but they're really trying to put me to sleep with these instruments. If you put different distortion on the guitar parts, it almost sounds like a hardcore song, but they still try to mold it into this very dour poppy music that doesn't seem to work for me. I always thought this was the better album because it's a more serious album. It has the more emotional, serious, mature parts to it. But coming back to it now, I kind of like the poppier moments on Riot. I sort of miss the fun, the goofiness with That's What You Get When You Let Your Heart Win, Crush, 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 Fences. Songs like that bring an element of camp and fun that this album is solely missing, and Conspiracy is the worst offender of it. What is the conspiracy? Who is conspiring against you, Haley? Explain to me this conspiracy against me. Yeah. Speak softly, for they will hear us, and they'll find out that we don't trust them. Speak up, dear, 'cause I cannot hear you. I need to know. Those people are conspiring against me, and I've lost my power. Oh yeah. I do appreciate how brief these songs are. His voice is kind of reminding me of the Black Maria a little bit in this one. So there you are, and here I'm saying, as far as I remember, you weren't half bad. Your bedroom behavior was never more than check marks on bedposts. Your bedroom behavior? What is your bedroom behavior? Having sex? Are we not allowed to have sex, William? So get me out of the rain. You get me out of my clothes. I hope I don't make a sound. You hope that nobody knows. So suck your so-called pity down. Why do you think she has pity? You're having sex with her too. So take your cold, cold heart and drown. Oh no, is she a little bit of a promiscuous cheater? We're calling someone out. I don't know who this person is, but we're fucking calling them out for having the bittersweet taste of other boys on your lips. Scathing. but it's to an upbeat tune. I always say if you're gonna be scathing, if you're gonna be stabbing those knives in the back, you better do it to a tune I can dance to. And that is why this is gonna be like our 4th Academy Is song on the playlist. Shocking. Truly fucking shocking. From the onset, this would appear to be another song about, hey, you came to watch our shows. You're always there singing our songs. You know what town we come from. But really, it's about their friend Chris, who were their only friend, to see us play like a big shot, telling he was enthusiastic, he loved this band, and they made him a song that said, we love you back. He is the grenade jumper. He is the one to jump on the grenade for the band. I think it's sweet, even if this song isn't the best composition or the most impactful song. It doesn't really hit you in the face with the hooks like the other ones do. I find the sentiment incredibly sweet and sort of what I wish the scene was more about. Another very sleepy track on behalf of Paramore. This one, Franklin, not like Chris, not someone to give your love back to. Everything has changed. Everything's changing. It's taking up our time again. Go back. We can't go back. We can't go back. We can't go back. We've changed. We're different people now. It's emotional. There's dueling vocals with a male performer that I'm assuming is Josh. And it's adding a different type of texture to the song, but it is a slower one. It's a little more of a downer, but I do enjoy the play and the switch up with the vocaling styles in it. Maybe I'm open to letting Franklin into our playlist. I've heard my fair share of abusive songs. I've heard my fair share of leave him, woman, go, don't leave a letter, he abuses you. Why are you wearing sunglasses when the sun's not out and you're inside? And this is a top tier version of that. This hits all the points with the seriousness and the emotional maturity that this subject matter deserves. Domestic abuse is one of the most horrific things to exist in our world. So many songs sort of glorify it. A lot of songs about killing women and bitches and hurting girls or stabbing them, setting them on fire, burning down their house, crashing their car. There's a lot of that out there. So to hear one that is so genuinely in favor of the person leaving, to tell them to get out of that house, to go find a future. It's so weird. It's like when the Academy does not speak to me, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't like the song whatsoever. But when there is a song that hits right, that does have something to say, that does have a really good hook and flow to it, then it really grabs you. Down and Out is a genuine fucking banger with some true emotional honesty in it. So oh, you got Pete screaming. Oh, I forgot Pete would scream. But Patrick's voice is really good, especially compared to the Evening Out with Your Girlfriend version of this song, which felt a little more insecure, which had him a little more whimpering, struggling to get through it. This has a lot more confidence to it, but this song is kind of slower. The tempo is a little slower than their other ones. I like that chorus. I like how the drumming comes in. There's a lot of goofy lines though, like he's well hun and I am hanging on. Hanging on to what? His dick? That line does not read the way you think it does. What you do on your own time, just find my imagination's much worse. I can't think about you fucking them. That's gonna drive me crazy. This is Paramore's last chance to get onto the playlist. Will My Heart make it into My Heart? Their big, hopeful ending, their big hopeful closer, their big sing us a song and we'll sing it back to you, feels a little empty. I'm just so sleepy by it, Paramore. I like the powerful dynamic of the chorus, but you're not giving me shit before we get there. Sing me a song that makes me feel excitement, a song that maybe raises my heart rate past a resting rate. I do like how powerful it is. I like how she says this heart beats for only you, but it is a sad conclusion after we've gone through the turbulations of the album. We broke up with this guy. We were never gonna go back. We said here we go again. We acknowledge that we were in this cycle. We were ready to break this cycle, and it ends with my heart, it beats for only you. Why, Haley? There's so many people in the world. 7 billion people. In fact, over that. Your heart could be for so many others. And my heart will be going against the Academy is last song on Almost Here. It's almost over. The Academy chooses to end their album on a much different note than Paramore. A lot more upbeat, a lot more not really hopeful. Hey now, we're almost home. I'm missing you to death, but it's for the best I know. There's just a push through the song that makes it feel like a good ass closer, like an exciting closer. It is, the Academy is feeling almost like June or Cartel. They're elevating themselves past the kind of sleepy alternative rock that they were at the beginning of the record. I have to say, the first couple songs are not a good representation of just what this band is capable of. And maybe their follow-up albums are even better than this one if they lean into these qualities. Almost Here is up there with the best of the best off of this album. And with that, we have closed out Almost Here, and All We Know Is Falling. Unfortunately, Take This to Your Grave has 2 more songs. We can't really put them up against anything, so I guess we're just gonna have to listen to them and then give our thoughts. Did he really write this album at 18? Was Patrick really only 18 at this point? Because I'm fucking impressed with just the a way that he's able to carry himself in these songs, with how confidently and well he pronounces and enunciates his way through these lyrics that are poetic, metaphorical, on the nose, like everything at once. He's able to pull it off and tie it in to itself without it ever reading as false or fake or annoying. He's able to say, whoa, I can't do it by myself 4 different ways and make it an interesting chorus within itself. This song has parts that feel like an old hardcore song. Makes sense given Andy Hurley's background. This just is a good fucking 2 minutes. It is tight, it is heavy, exactly what I would expect the band on this cover to play. Glad to have it on the playlist. Let's end it. Let's end it. End it. And what I always appreciate about Fall Out Boy is their ability to end a record. They always make sure they end the record on a big song, their biggest chorus. When it all goes to hell, will you be able to tell I'm sorry with a straight face? The way they sing it, the way they present it is very evocative of Etso. And I've got all this ringing in my ears and none in my fingers. It's solid and it kind of echoes what they were trying to say with the very first song, Tell That Mick. It feels like thematically, emotionally, it brings it to a close, and it's a good fucking just bookends to an album that has many good moments and very memorable hooks. And with that, we have come to our final playlist. I'm so sorry, Paramore. You should have done better. Paramore, with your first album, really proficient, well produced, debut album. But the Academy is, and Fall Out Boy just show writing and musical stylings that was more dynamic, more interesting, and just way fucking catchier than anything that was on All We Know Is Falling. Though I will say that Pressure is as good of a song as anything on here. 6 Academy is songs to Fall Out Boy's Take This to Your Grave. And I am being as earnest and honest when I say I have never listened to an Academy is record before this moment. This album has really proved a reason why the band does have such a nostalgic glow to them, why there is a fan base that was so dedicated and interested to this band that just escaped me. But listening to the album as a whole, they start to grow on you, and each song just gets better and bigger and shows their talents more and more. I'm very, very curious to listen to their follow-up album to see how they progress on the sounds that they created for this. And when it comes to Take This to Your Grave, what I can say is everything I love about Fall Out Boy is prevalent in that first album, but with just a different flavor. It's a little tighter, it's a little quicker, it's a little faster, a little more simplistic, a little more juvenile. But I find the song structure, the hooks, and the metaphorical playing with the lyrics as exciting, as enjoyable, as their best of the best stuff. Fueled by Ramen, if anything, has a true eye for talent, and they brought the absolute best talent for their fucking ages, for the scene, for the time, and you just have to give it up that when there's this much good music, we're all winners here. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What songs would you have chosen? What albums would you pit against each other? Tell me below. I'm Greyson Todd. Thank you for watching. Stay posy, stay swazzy, listen to some good shit, and I guess I'll catch you on the flip side. Is that what the ... is? It's the Academy is ... actually good?